a surprise entrance this time.
Hi, everyone.
You are the surprise entrance.
I forgot that our theme song changed. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I know. Well, we're gonna.
We are more than a
Figure it
song.
out. We are definitely more than a song. So
Oh,
I have
baby,
this.
you're a song. Okay, that's my next one.
Look at this is my surprise to you. Look what I have in my hand right now.
Well, hold on. I'm only looking at myself right now.
Oh, of course, of course.
It's a pencil.
It's a
Yay,
pencil.
Katie.
Yay!
Oh, you're writing with a pencil?
No, it's. I thought I'd pick it up and just hold it. I forget what it's like to hold a pencil.
You want to know what's funny? Wait, where is my thing? Do you recognize this? From?
Is it Cliff Notes? Oh, no, that's from Screencast Camp.
Screencast Camp. You know what? I am a paper thinking kind of girl.
Look at that. Beautiful.
I am. I've discovered that about myself. I can't believe it, and I don't want to be. I don't.
So, paper thinking kind of girl, who the heck are you? Or who are we?
Oh, we are the Lady Geeks. I'm supposed to be looking at the show notes right now, aren't I?
Yeah.
I was staring at myself.
You're just so darn pretty, though. So, hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We are the Lady Geeks, and you can find us at ladygeeks.org.us.info.net. Did I forget one?
No.
I didn't?
No. ladygeeks.org.
.org is the main one, but you can find us through any of those channels. You can also find us on Twitter at LadyGeeks, and if you are watching, please join in the conversation and send us some questions for our Geek of the Week, who we will introduce in just a minute. Use the hashtag LadyGeeks with an S.
You even follow the show notes because that's clearly pink. I'm pink.
I don't know. You were just
green.
Obsessed with yourself, so I was just going on and moving on.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, you can continue. You're doing a great job.
Okay, thanks. So I am Katie Regan. You can find me on the Twitters at Katie Regan88, REGAN 88.
And the reason she has 2 8s is because she was drunk when she made it and pressed the 8 twice. Little known fact about Katie Regan.
This is not true.
This is mine, Sherry Sloan, at Sherry Sloan. Figured out the spelling. And we have a guest this week, and this is Andrew Stillman. You can be found where, Andrew?
Mostly on Google+. I'm okay at Twitter. I'm better at Google+. So just search for +Andrew Stillman. There are 2 of me on there. The one that doesn't say work tends to be the one that I check more often. I'm also at A Stillman on Twitter.
Wait, and who are you?
Yeah, so I've been working as a tech kind of district level person in New York City for a large nonprofit that serves close to 80 New York City public schools, about 40,000 students. Prior to that, I was a physics teacher and assistant principal in middle and high schools in New York City for 10 years. And then I guess what I've been able to do in the last couple of years is get to know a programming language called AppScript, which sits on top of the Google Apps platform, and which has been extremely useful to my schools, and it turns out many others, in automating processes, turning some of the more mundane aspects of what we do into fun kind of packaged little utilities that let people do their job better. So, and that's been a real pleasure, and I've been lucky to gain some following and a community around the work that's been really rewarding. So, here tonight to share some of that work, and hopefully help out some educators.
Yeah, and Andrew has been one of those people who I'm constantly emailing. I'm sorry for bothering you, but I need help. So I have found these scripts like life-changing, really, for me. As a geek and as a teacher, these scripts have been just, like, blowing my mind. Every single time a new one comes out, or every single time I learn a new one, I'm just blown away by what it can do for us, for the classroom and for schools. I really want to automate an entire school. Like, that's my goal in the next 5 years, is, like, take a little school and, you know, just get it all on Google Apps Thread and just automate the entire thing. Not that they'll let me, but...
Well, as you know, Katie, you know, I've been tweeting about that. I'm, you know, super scared about, you know, using this Google Scripts, but I have used Flubru before. I just had a beer delivered to me. That's why I'm a little distracted.
Nice.
Thank you. And donuts. They don't exactly go together, but thank you. Boston cream. Thank you. Not right now. No, thanks.
Tell Gabe
Sorry.
to go away.
But he delivered a beer, so that's all good. But so I did try Flubru. I want to say about a year ago, maybe a little more. And oh, Andrew, is it pronounced Flubru or Flubberu?
I don't know. He didn't write that one, though.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not one of mine. I have heard that it is Flubaru.
Flubru. That's how I've always pronounced it. So that was easy for me. And then things, you know, the way that Katie describes Doctopus and Gubrick, it sounds so exciting. I just can't wrap my brain around it. It's so difficult for me.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think your fear of spreadsheets is not uncommon. And we're going to talk through that tonight.
Did you see?
I'm going to get some spreadsheet therapy.
Yeah, you're in a safe place.
Oh,
Did you see Jay Atwood's session at the Google Summit in Singapore?
No.
Sexy spreadsheets and dirty data.
Nice.
That was a collaborative effort.
I like it.
Okay, so it's fall in America, and it's almost spring in Australia.
Oh, we forgot to say this. Okay, right, go on.
You know what that means. Woo! EdReach is launching not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 new channels in the coming weeks. The Lady Geeks, that's us, and we're first, of course. 2 guys and some iPads, which is Drew and Brad. Text with Talkstar to Rockstar, subtext The Reading Room, and Chockles? And
a comic
strip? That's a typo there. A comic strip with an educational attitude. Stay glued to edreach.us and check out our new channels button on edreach.us.
And don't forget to listen to us on Stitcher Radio. I am using the Stitcher app, sort of.
Yay! I'm so proud of you.
You know, I have a hard time with the playlist. I think I need some Stitcher therapy as well. I know I'm gonna like it, but I'm you know, when you get used to doing one thing one way, I'm an old lady, so it's hard for me to adopt new things.
You're not
But anyway, we are on Stitcher Radio, and they're kind enough to host all of the EdReach podcasts, I assume. The beauty of Stitcher Radio is you can basically listen to them on any device that you have, so that's pretty cool. And every Thursday morning you can catch the Lady Geeks live for a little question and answer period on Mix 106.7 Radio in Oneida, New York with Todd Emanuele. We had a little bit of technical difficulties this morning.
So not today.
It's okay.
Todd needs some lady geeking in his life.
Yes.
On his soundboard.
Everybody's lady geeking in their lives.
So before we get into, you know, what Andrew has brought to the table, I have a bone to pick.
She said bone.
Oh my god. I do. I'm really mad. I'm really angry with John right now. Not John Stevens, but John Samuelson. Do you know who that is?
Oh,
Sherry?
yes, Techlandia.
Yeah, I've had
John.
Sammy. He's on the bottom of my list right now. And
Uh-oh.
I was listening to Techlandia number 33, and John said something about us that I wasn't real happy with.
I haven't heard it yet, so am I gonna have to be beating someone up? Because, you know, I am your bodyguard now.
I know. Well, he called us both, and this is my one pet peeve about things that men say about women. So he's in deep doo-doo. I said doo-doo.
You did say doo-doo.
Does that matter?
I
He called
think,
us crazy.
huh.
And not just crazy, but cray, to be
Cray
exact.
cray.
What is up
I
with
don't
that? Like,
know.
who does he think he is? Just because he's iPad Sammy doesn't mean he can go around talking trash.
Aren't you
to
talking
the
trash right
masses.
now?
Well, because he started it, actually.
Okay,
I
well,
want to show
let's
you.
just start rapping here or something, because we can just be rap stars going back and forth.
I want to show you a picture that I put on our website just for him. Just for iPad Sammy. You see that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Don't mess with this.
No,
Don't mess.
don't mess.
The
Don't mess
Lady
with
Geeks
Texas.
get tough.
She's showing the picture from our front page of our website where we are looking like a comic strip tough duo, which we are a comic
Which
strip
we
tough
are.
duo.
That's exactly right. So, he's going to get an earful, number one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number two, he's on the bottom of my list. Kurt, not so much, but John is in big trouble.
Well, I'm sure you'll make him apologize profusely for that.
I'm gonna make him say uncle and give him a wet willy and give him a big old edu-nuggy. Are we gonna get in trouble for that?
I was in such a bad mood today, so I have all of this angry music.
Oh, nice! I like angry music.
So
Love it.
when you're a chick in a bad mood, it's gotta be some little Alanis Morissette there.
Oh, absolutely. And Melissa Etheridge, right?
Oh yeah, well, yeah. That's not who I have lined up though.
That's okay.
I'm just going to get smaller and smaller in my chair.
Well, that's okay. You don't have to sing or anything.
But at least you're not in between us, Andrew.
Wow, yeah. Let's not even.
We're going to be talking about lots of stuff tonight. We'll probably be talking about some stuff you can check out, and we are going to put all of those links in the show notes. Happens around 48 hours after we're done airing. I don't have anything to demo, Katie, because I'm here to learn. So I'm just going to sit back.
That's what I did last week. I didn't have anything to share, and I just learned.
You never do anything around here.
No, I don't, actually.
Nope.
I sit in my princess chair and
right.
put on my princess crown and make my princess money just come out of my princess butt.
All right, princess
Okay.
ass. Go ahead and do your demo.
No, I'm not going to actually demo anything, but I'm using one spreadsheet for two reasons. With New York State and the Common Core and the APPR, so our 20% of our APPR is based on our student growth measure, which is called the SLOW, Student Learning Objectives. So we all need to pre-test our students, and one of the things that I'm going to pre-test them is a bank of 100 vocabulary words that every freshman should know by the time they are done with their freshman English. So I'm using a Google form. Yeah, you can have that. I set up a Google form with all these multiple choice questions. It's just really basic, just match word to word, or word to definition. So it's really not robust. It's not huge. But within that spreadsheet, I'm collecting not only their name but their email address that's associated with their drive, because I don't have access to a spreadsheet that has that information in it. Call me crazy, John. Call me cray cray, but I don't have that information. So I'm using the Flubberoo script to grade everything, but then I'm going to use the G-class folders and on that spreadsheet, or copy and paste it over, and use that information. So it's like a 2 and a 1 deal. So that's what I'm going to start with.
And just to clarify, you're doing that you're on a domain, right? You're on the same domain as your kids. Is that right?
Well, technically, yeah, but I don't know how to do that. Like, I'm kind of a lone ranger in my school. I'm the only one that uses
as opposed to a
Google.
form ranger.
Right, but but my question is like, do you guys actually have a Google Apps domain, or are you just using Wild West Gmail with kids?
We're not using Gmail. We're using our school domain, but we have like a whole dashboard. The tech guy showed me the whole like back-end dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not using everything. We're just using the docs. That's pretty much it.
But the kids have email accounts as well, or just docs?
They have email accounts through Microsoft Outlook or whatever that is. So it's the domain name is our school district domain name.
Got it.
And they don't use Gmail or the browser or anything to get that. Well, they use the browser, but through the Outlook.
Sure. But basically, that like you can auto-collect username. You know who filled out a form. Like when you create a Google form, you have the checkboxes at the top that say collect their username.
I don't know how to do that. Can you show me?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's one of the really nice features of being on a domain versus trying to do things with plain old Gmail. I get some teachers that occasionally are like, well, yeah, I use Google Apps, and then I discover that they've set up a bunch of Gmail accounts for their kids, and it's a pretty different thing.
By the way, while you're getting set up right now, I had my students fill out a form yesterday and today, and I asked them for their email addresses, and I got about 20% correct. Like if someone had an apostrophe in their name, they put an apostrophe in their email address. One of them ended with a .con, and we're a .org.
My kids spell their own names wrong.
I know. At least two do that. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? There's got to be an easier way.
It's very frustrating. So
is this our?
Yeah. So this is like a really just super nice thing to be able to do, which is you'll see these two checkboxes at the top of the form editor. And this is not available in Gmail. It's only available on an apps domain. One is that you have to be logged in to access the form, and the other is that you can automatically collect their username. So once you have that, there's no asking them for their email address. It just
I want that.
You have it.
You wouldn't have it because you don't have Google Apps for Ed. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we do. We have the whole dashboard and everything in the back end.
Oh.
But I don't like. Is that not a setting that he has to turn on? I'm not allowed to touch it.
No, but the question is, how are you interacting with kids? Are you using your apps domain or account, or are you using a personal Gmail account?
Well, here's the thing. I signed up for a Google Doc account with my school email 5 years ago, and since then, was it last year, the year before, we got into Google Apps. So I had already pre-established my account. And I don't think I can migrate it over.
There's a weird process you go through to do that, and it should actually force you to do that. At least that's been my experience, because we've had some similar cases in New York City. And you're right. What normally happens is if you do that, it'll like create a Google account for you at that email address, but it's actually just a Gmail. It's like it runs on Gmail.
Yeah.
It doesn't run on apps free to you. So I would look into that. I mean, I think being on a domain is much better for a lot of reasons. When you're running scripts, your quotas are much higher. Like regular commercial Gmail accounts, you max out. Like you can only run Autocrat up to 500 documents a day, whereas on a domain it's like 2,000. Like all your limits are much higher on a domain.
Wow. I didn't know
So
that.
it's just a better place to be.
I know we have tons of storage on the domain too.
I don't know if that's different.
Oh yeah, no, I
heard that
want
it's
to
different.
say it's like 100 gigs per teacher. I think it's a lot.
Huh.
Maybe even per student as well.
For email or for everything?
For Google Drive.
Oh.
Yeah, it should all be combined now. Like I think it's all wrapped up in the same quota.
Mm-hmm.
All the services.
Huh. Okay. I think we're gonna get in trouble for this.
All right. I love that
You're
song.
making me so nervous.
Who's making you nervous?
You.
I'm making you nervous?
Nope, we're just gonna do it. We're going ahead. I don't care who.
All right. So, Andrew, what's up next? What's up, Doc?
What do you want to know?
I have been
What's your
talking your new. What's your sign? What do you like to do for fun? Because when I see you next time, are we gonna like have a picnic and? I'm just kidding. This is really dumb. I'm a big dork. But I think we're gonna see each other in October, right?
I was just going to mention that. The party's in our room Friday night.
Yeah. So you're talking about the summit.
Yes. The
Yeah.
Cowder Summit.
Yeah, I'm gonna like stand in the back of your session and yell "Freebird."
No, that's
plan,
not the one that I'm presenting at. Well, I'm presenting in that one, but I'm not doing anything with scripts on that one.
Oh, so I'm confused.
The one that I'm talking about scripts that I think that you need to Google Hangout into is the Nice Skate annual conference in November. Sherry and I are talking about voice comments at the Google Summit.
Okay.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
We are?
Uh-huh.
No, we're doing YouTube video editing.
That as well.
Oh, okay. We're doing two things.
Haven't seen the schedule yet, but so Andrew, are you going to be there?
Am I gonna hang out into NiceCat? Is that what you're asking?
No, are you going to be at the Google Summit?
Yeah, I've got a session.
Okay, so we will come heckle you if you come heckle us.
Okay, perfect.
They'll
probably schedule us at the same time.
No, they can't. I will yell at Chris. I'll make sure.
All right.
I know.
Chris and I were cohort members in Chicago. That was fun. We were in the same group.
That's nice.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He's great. Yeah, we met him at the Nice Skate Annual last year. He was on our show talking about AppShed.
Yep. And I think that what's he doing this time? I can't remember. I think he's doing AppShed there as well.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it yet. But okay, so I've been talking your new script up all day long, and I want to see it. Show me your goods.
Show us your goods, baby.
All right.
Drop trow.
Here we go.
On your screen share. I'm ready.
All right. Well, fortunately, I've got my 19-inch monitor sitting next to me, and
He's got 19 inches.
Oh, that's so small.
Ah!
I'm just kidding. Mine's only 11. Okay, you got me beat.
So I think the one you're talking about is from Folio.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is it's not yet officially released.
Hold on, I gotta tweet this out. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's not yet in the script gallery. So folks who are used to going to the script gallery to find my scripts, this one is not there yet. And to talk through the problem it tries to solve is basically Google Drive lands you in a place where if you want to collect files from people, so i.e. like if you're a teacher and you have a lot of students and you want to have them put files into a folder for you, they invariably only do that like maybe between 60 and 80% of them actually do it the first time you ask them to do it. And there's that basic pain point for teachers is something that a lot of different tools have tried to solve. In this case, it's like, what if students already have files? What if they went ahead and made something in Drive, and I want them to submit those things to me? And I want those things to land in the right place. I need to be confident that they're all going into a folder, and ideally that would be like a folder by assignment, right? I would love it if assignment number 1 of the term, when they went and submitted it, actually accurately landed in the assignment number 1 folder in my Drive so that I could look at it. It would also be cool if over the course of the semester all of their assignments landed in their folder, right? Like if there were a folder dedicated to their work in my class and I could see student by student everything they've done over the course of the semester. And there's solutions for that. Like, I mean, I've written other scripts like G-class folders helps. That's a script that we can demo a little bit later that generates a single class folder per student that then you can use for the rest of the semester, and you can ask students to do their work in that folder, right? That helps a little bit, but you still end up in this situation where you're potentially having to drill down like 2 or 3 levels in the folder structure every time you want to grade an assignment from a kid. Because you're like, okay, let me go from Johnny to Susie to whatever, and like the workflow just still isn't great. Doctopus helps a lot here, but that's great if you want to give the kids a starter document. And it really only works well when you're moving a whole class of kids at the same pace, right? So you're like, the whole class is doing assignment number 1 right now, and I am now going to provision it to you, and like, you know, so it's like running photocopies. You do a batch, you treat the kids like they're all in the same spot, even though they're not. And it's the big lie of traditional instruction, which is that you can be like a steamroller and just move a whole class forward, right? And so, you know, like even that tool kind of falls short. Like if I were running a really differentiated, flipped, personalized classroom, which I'm currently not. So I'm a big fraud. I work at the district level at this point, but I did my 10 years. I got cred.
Well, this is sort of what I mean. This is what I want to do. I want to flip and differentiate, definitely.
Right. So, like, imagine you had laid out a bunch of touchstone kind of assignments already, right? You did the work up front. You created most of your flipped curriculum so that there's enough road out ahead of the kids that you can actually handle the kids that are accelerated and the kids that need a little extra support at the same time, so they can all be working on different things potentially. But then how do you get them all to submit that work in a way that's still organized? Like how do you access it in a way that allows you to always find all the assignment number 3s in the same place?
Are you asking me the question, or are you going to tell me the answer?
I mean, it's a hypothetical. It's rhetorical because that's the problem that this script tries to solve.
Okay, that's cool.
So I mean, there are tons of other solutions out there, right? Like lots of people. So
basically, are you saying when they hand in assignment number 3, all of those assignment 3s from the whole class will come into one folder, so that I'm only opening this one folder and going from assignment to assignment in my folder?
Yeah, that's one possible way that this script could work.
Okay.
Right? It also works great for other use cases, like let's say within a school or within a school district. I want all my 9th grade social studies teachers to be contributing unit plans.
Okay.
Right, and I want them to tag those unit plans by topic, by let's say region standard, Common Core standards, etc. Right? There's all this like metadata that I would love to have associated with all the things that those teachers contributed.
Yeah.
And in Google Docs and Drive, there's not an easy way to say like to tag things, right? Like you can put things into a folder based on subject area or topic area or whatever, right? And folders kind of behave like tags. But really, I want to be able to see a whole spreadsheet or a database of all the things that all my teachers in the district have submitted, and I want to be able to filter by tag. So like if I want to pull up all units that have been submitted around the Civil War, I want to be able to quickly do that. And that means that like the same unit might sit in 4 or 5 different folders in Drive. Like there might be a Civil War folder. There might also be a Common Core, whatever, Writing Standard 4 folder. And that same unit plan might sit in both folders.
Right? Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And that's one of the cool things about Drive that's very different about the pre-cloud, Windows world, is the same resource can sit in as many folders as you want. So that's a fun one, and this came up really meaningfully around there's a group of computer science teachers in New York City who were trying to crowdsource curriculum and build stuff together. And the first day of their program, they shared this elaborate folder structure with everybody, and it was all like really well intentioned, and like literally within 30 minutes of having given the folder structure to everybody, somebody dragged like the most important subfolder out of the parent folder it was in and dragged it into my Drive, removing it for everyone else, right? Which is like the biggest nightmare, and it's this happens in most large organizations that try to use Drive this way. It turns out if you give everybody edit privileges on a folder structure, like that folder is actually pretty much guaranteed to self-destruct. Like some unwitting person is just going to destroy it for everybody else. And then everybody freaks out and everybody hates Google, right? And it's like this. So to avoid that, so the other reason this came into existence was to avoid that shit show. Pardon my French.
No, we don't need to pardon
that. And so, like, what if you could create a whole like brilliant folder hierarchy, and instead of giving people editing rights on the folders to have them submit things, you could give them a Google form instead, and you could say, drop the URL for the thing you want to submit right into the Google form, submit it, and then on the back end, this thing is going to get put into all the right folders. So all you have to do is fill out a couple drop downs, a couple multiple choices, and this amazing resource you just submitted as a teacher is going to be put in the right place so that everyone else in the collaborative can find it. So there's all these like document management issues that have to do with people being imperfect when it comes to putting things in the right folders when they're working in large groups, or students not submitting things properly. And I guess the last use case is like, I want students to be able to submit things to a folder, and I don't necessarily want them to see everything else in that folder. Right? So like, I would love it if I could create a Dropbox for my class, and without giving editing privileges to all the other kids,
right,
I could have the kids drop things in there. And the problem is right now in Drive, the only way to add something, have kids add something to a folder for you, is to give them editing rights on the folder. Right? So like that means not only can they see every other kid's paper, but they could potentially go in and edit every other kid's paper.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So it's like
whether intentionally or inadvertently. I mean, in my situation is, sometimes it happens intentionally, but often it's inadvertently that they mess up stuff.
Right. Yeah, I mean and the main issue is like accidentally dragging something out, right?
Right.
And then there's like nothing anyone else can do about it, and nobody can figure out who did it. So anyway, enough said. Like that, those are some of the problems that this script hopes to solve. And so what it does is it takes a spreadsheet. The intention is that this would be installed from the script gallery onto a Google spreadsheet. Pops up as most of my scripts do. It has a custom menu to the right of the help menu. And then you run this initial installation script, which is going to basically go through authorizing the script, which is still kind of an annoying process. You got to do this each time you install them. Sorry everyone. That's just the way of the world right now.
And you also have to do that every time you use a new browser. I was going through this with voice comments yesterday. Every single time you use a new browser on a different machine, you have to do that.
Huh, that's interesting.
And I'm using my pencil to point and not to write.
And well, voice comments is a Drive app, though. That's not an app script. So I'm not sure if I think what you're saying is not true of app script, but it is true of Drive apps.
I stand corrected by the Andrew Stillman.
Just take it. There's no back talk tonight.
He just smacked me down.
Damn, about time someone put that bitch in her place.
I've been waiting for this moment.
So have I.
Anyway,
bitch.
So while this light talk is going on, the real work is happening in the background, and there's. So anyway, you go through it and it says, this, congratulations, the script successfully initialized. And if you run it on a spreadsheet that does not yet have a Google form attached, which is what I just did, it will make one for you. So what it does is it says, oh, I see that you're interested in using Form Folio, but you have not yet attached a form to your spreadsheet. Let me take care of that for you. And so what it does is it generates like a default form, which when I go look at it, depending on whether I'm a Gmail user or a domain user, it'll do some different things. So one thing it'll do is it'll make the form collect username, which we mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll create some default questions, or it should. Let me see what happened here. Yeah, so that's weird. So what it should do is create a question that asks for the URL of the drive resource you're submitting. So it's like kind of the least user-friendly part of this is that you're asking the user to go and take something from Drive, grab the URL, and paste it into the form, right? Like that's just, unfortunately, there's no simple way to make a picker. It'd be awesome if you could click a little button and it would like go into your Drive and pick things, right? Maybe that's coming. I don't know. I wish Google would do it, but they don't.
They did that. They have that. Well, I know it's different, but they have that with voice comments where you can pick a doc.
Yeah, no, if you're building a Drive app or something in a third-party development environment, they have what's called the Picker API.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it in a Google form though. Like
That's
Google
too bad.
Google Forms just don't have that. So you're just pasting a URL. It was also supposed to, and I'm not sure why it didn't. There's a reason this hasn't been released yet. It's supposed to create a dummy question where you're asking to the choose a folder. This is just a generic question, but let's just imagine you have folder one.
Stop typing, Andrew. You're being muted.
Oh, is it too loud? Sorry.
No. Every time you type on the keyboard, it mutes your voice, or you're kind of cutting in and out.
All right, that's not ideal for demos, is it? Okay,
No,
so
it's not.
so there should have been automatically this other question added. I'm not sure why it didn't, but the other piece is like you can have as many of these as you want, but basically if you can have a multiple choice, a drop down, or a checkbox questions that correspond to folders in Drive. So right, so stretch your brains and think for a second about a form where potentially 3, 4, usually it's going to be just 1 or 2 questions, where each of those questions is going to be like a destination in Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it might be like common core standard, subject area, grade level, teacher name, right? Like each of those could be in the choices a whole set of folders, and then when the resource gets submitted, it gets added to each of those folders based on the choices that were made in the form.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you play that out, it's like, oh, so if I were doing student portfolios and I knew that there were like 4 main sections in the portfolio, right? So I wanted students to do something around narrative voice, and I wanted students to do something else around. I'm going to try to pretend I'm an English teacher for a second. Fancy language. I don't know. What else is there?
Keep trying.
I was a science teacher, so you know. But the larger point is, you could imagine being able to slice your portfolio lots of different ways and have things folded in different places depending on different questions they answered in the form, right? And so the Drive resource they submit could potentially be put into multiple folders based on how the questions were answered. The simplest use case would be just have a folder per kid and then have a folder per assignment over the course of the semester. And so when they go to submit homework, let's say, they always go to the same form. And then assignments 1 through 12 are in a drop-down, and when they submit homework, they have to just select which assignment it is and then drop the URL to the product that they made. And then that will automatically get put into the correct assignment folder for them, right? So I'm just trying to play out some different ways this might work. But jumping back, go ahead.
Andrew, we have a question from the Twitter peoples. And someone wants to know about annotating. This is from Daniel Welty. He's talking about going paperless, and he's talking about students annotating a PDF and then submitting it to Google Drive. Can he run a script to create a rubric in a Drive that works on PDF? So I know that you have Gubrick, which is when the rubric gets inserted into their document. How can he do that with a PDF? I'm thinking they would put it in Google. What is it called? Google Sketch.
I'm embarrassed to say I've not tested that. So I'd be interested to know if anyone has tested it in Doctopus. Right now, the only way you can use Doctopus is in conjunction with. Sorry, the only way you can use Gubrick is in conjunction with Doctopus. So
And that's only on a doc, right?
But
A document.
No,
do you see
I
it on
don't know.
PDFs?
I haven't tried PDFs actually.
see
Sadly,
it?
like I didn't test it on PDFs.
But didn't you say
as an option though? You can, as an option, you could open Google Sketch, and insert Google Sketch into a Google Doc, and they can paste it into, if it's an image, they can paste it into that Google Sketch. They could probably annotate it right in that if they wanted to, and then he could attach the rubric at the bottom. It would still be in a Google Doc. They would just have an image inserted.
And how easy is it to get from PDF to image?
I think that's one of the images it accepts.
Oh, really?
Do we know, Kate?
no, it converts, like if you say convert PDF to like something, whatever, into Drive, it'll take the pictures in the PDF and convert it to an image, but then it'll take the text. Oh, no, you're right. It takes the PDF itself, converts that to an image, and then underneath it takes all the text, like OCRs it, and pastes the text underneath.
I'm going to try it.
You do that.
Yes.
But, Andrew, didn't you say this week on a Twitter sphere that Doctopus can't share PDFs, right?
I don't think I said that. I actually don't know. I mean, I haven't had time to test it. I saw someone else ask that as well this week, and I just haven't had time. But I'm pretty sure it can copy any file type, and it will share any file type. Like anything in Drive is fair game, as far as I know.
That's what
And
I
if someone discovers otherwise, they should just get in touch with me. Because I mean, I've used it to I've definitely used it to share folders that had PDFs in them.
Exactly.
And it didn't have any problem with those.
You could probably put video. I'm looking for it.
I mean, the bigger issue is annotating. I'm not aware of any easy way to annotate PDFs in Drive, unless there's some fresh app out there that I haven't seen.
No, but you can't do it in. I just tried it. You can't do it in the insert sketch or insert whatever that was, drawing. You can't do it. Nope, not an acceptable file format.
Oh.
Meh.
Eh.
Meh.
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 Okay, keep going with your Folio.
From Folio, yeah. So I'm imagining right now that we're going to be collecting assignments from kids. And so the first step I'm going into is it says help Folio understand your form, right? So it's just like there's certain things it needs you to answer, like which sheet is actually getting the form responses, and then which questions do you actually want corresponding to Drive folders. This is the one that's kind of heady initially, but just imagine I've got a question right now called choose a folder, and it's going to have in the drop-down, let's say, assignments 1 through 12 for the semester. I want that to correspond to folder, so I'm going to check a checkbox next to that, and then I also would like to browse student assignments by kid, so I'm also going to create kid folders. So what I'm imagining is every time an assignment comes in, it's going to go both into an assignment folder where I'm going to be able to batch grade things, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to also have it deposit into a kid folder.
I like that.
Me too.
And it might be like, so there might be one scenario where I already have kid folders, right? I already made them. Let's say I use G-class folders or I use teacher dashboard. So let's anticipate that, right? It could be that I already have kid folders set up. It might also be that I don't. So, and this script will handle either. It'll let you use existing folders if you want, or it'll auto-generate a whole ton of folders for you, like based on your form questions.
Yeah, Lindsay just asked that question. Can you use a Vlookup with folder keys?
Yes, I believe so. In this script, let's try that. Yeah, I did build it so that when new users submit, it should be able to copy formulas down and find their folder key. All right, the other thing it's asking in step 1 is which question corresponds to the question that's going to collect the URL. Right, and in this case, there was one already made for me in the form. So this is a question that says, paste the URL of the Google Drive resource you're submitting. So, all right. Step 2, it says in step 1, you indicated that the following form items will serve as Drive folder selectors. You know what, I may have launched the old version of this. All right, let's hope it works.
Well, speaking of versions, Adam Howell on Twitter asks, when is Form Folio going live in the script gallery?
And he has another question too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's one more tweak I want to make, probably early next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Step 2 is asking me, it says in step 1 you indicated the following form items will serve as Drive folder selectors. So it knows that I choose a question called choose a folder, and then it also knows that I want to use the username to create user folders. So it's asking me some questions about that. How do I want to map questions to Drive folders? I can either automatically create a bunch of Drive folders, and so what it'll do is it'll look at my form, and it'll look at the options in each form question, and it'll make a folder for each option. So right now, imagine that in my choose a folder, I've got 3 assignments. I've got folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. I should probably call them assignment, but so I can let the script make the folders for me, or I can say I have existing Drive folders that I want to map my questions onto. So it'll work in either case. Let's go ahead and automatically create for now, and then under user folder options, it says select the level of access you want users to have to their own user folder. This is where, as a teacher, you get some really interesting options around not allowing people to see the contents of what they've already submitted to you. I can't really see the reason to not allow it in the case of a kid. But you could maybe make a case for saying, I want this to be a view-only folder. Right? I don't want once the work goes in there, I don't want to be able to edit it anymore, unless I explicitly let them. So you could make it a view only, or you could just give them full-blown editing rights on the folder. I'm going to go ahead and make it a view only for now.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
As you're talking about that, if a student is submitting a document this way and you say view only, can they still make changes on that document that they own?
So we're going to get to that in a second. In step 3, you'll see there's a way to run in 2 different modes. So we can run it in a mode where the assignment that's submitted is the actual file that the kid is still the owner of, or you can have it actually make a static copy of the file the moment it's submitted.
That's great, because then kids can't change it.
Well, it's potentially great. It's also potentially really confusing.
Right, because then you wind up having different versions, like with people that email, sending documents back and forth.
Yeah, so it has a cost. I'm not sure what I think of it. Unfortunately, there's no way to strip away editing rights because the script runs as you, and because you're not the document owner, I'm pretty sure you can't take them off. And that's where something like Doctopus is probably a better tool if that's a serious concern of yours. The last one is, how do you want your folders managed for users? You can run this in such a way that if a new person comes along and submits something to your form, it makes a user folder for them on the fly, right? So like, let's say I'm running a district-wide PD for teachers and I'm not sure who's going to be in my workshop. Right, I could have it collect the teacher username, and then based on who's there, it would actually create a folder for each person in the workshop, like on the fly while I'm there.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, so it's kind of dizzying. It's got so many different ways you can set it up that it's almost dizzying. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and have it. I'm going to say do not create folders for users not listed in the user folder sheet. This is more like what a teacher would do. I only want kids in my class to be able to submit things to user folders. Oh crap! I think I did run I ran an old version of this. I was silly. Hopefully we'll still get it to work. Let's see here. Yeah, because it doesn't even have the GIF. I had a really cute GIF. Um, I blew it. Sorry, everyone.
You blew it!
I blew it. Damn it. Yeah, I moved this into another account that I used to publish from, and god damn it, I forgot that I did that. Yeah, give me 1 second here.
It's okay. Can we ask you a question as you're
Multitasking? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
can
try.
you do that?
I'll do my best. I'm not a
Okay.
lady, but I'll do my best.
You are a geek, though. Can you have multiple forms, different forms, send responses to one student with multiple tabs or sheets within a spreadsheet? You know how like SheetSpider goes from one form to multiple spreadsheets?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's asking the other way around, maybe.
Could you have, right, so could you converge like all the different quizzes you've given a particular kid and have them all push to the same spreadsheet? Is that,
I
am
think
I grasping
so.
that?
That
I
sounds
mean, in theory, one could write a script that does something like that. It's going to be really, I mean, what's hard is that the field structure of each form is not necessarily the same. So what are we talking about? Like creating a separate
right.
sheet for each one?
I
don't know.
wonder, with SheetSpider, what he could do is set up a form that can be used over and over again in some way, and then that data gets farmed out to each kid's spreadsheet. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be easier to answer if I knew the use case.
Yeah, I think
You know
he
what I
said
mean?
something about attendance. But you could do that with the date. You could do that. I don't know. Maybe if he could drop a proposal, we could look at it.
Sure.
Well, that's one of the things I'm going to show you tonight, Katie. And it's not like I've had much practice with it, but I kind of like messed around with because I'm always trying to think of a way to take attendance while walking around the room. And maybe you can help me with something too, because I don't think what I really want to do is possible. But I was thinking about a spreadsheet with a drop down. Can I show you my screen right quick?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Adam, let me know and let Andrew know what exactly you want to happen. Maybe outside of Twitter, because you only have 144 or 140 characters. Ugh. But I can't tell you how many times I've sent Andrew these long emails with, okay, I want to be able to do this, and then I want it to be able to do this, and then this really needs to happen, and he's like, well, you can do this, but you can't do that, and so he knows a lot more than I do, obviously.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten. Have you gotten my invoices? I still haven't gotten anything.
I owe you so many drinks. It's not even funny. I do. I know that. It'll come back to you. Don't worry.
For some reason, I can't screen share, so I'm gonna give this to you. And
Okay.
it's really nothing, but I just think it's. Maybe you can screen share it.
Are you putting it where?
In the chat window.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm always wondering how I can walk around the room and take attendance, especially during my squirrely classes. And I feel like I lose paper, and I need to keep a copy of attendance that's not going to get lost. And so, again, this is extremely basic, but I'm looking at, maybe just having this on my phone where the drop-downs, you see those little drop-downs, honey? Yeah. So I just made these little drop-downs. So if they're present, you don't do anything. But if they're absent, it's just a one click. Because I showed something not long ago, a Google template, where you just put an X under each, either present, absent, whatever. But putting an X on a phone is not as easy as a little drop-down. So I'm thinking, I'm not sure how well it's going to work on a phone. I haven't tried it. I just was playing with this for the first time today. But I'm thinking with those little drop-downs, does the drop-down work? I didn't even see it.
I'm not seeing anything.
Right there, in that one.
Mm-mm.
You don't have a drop-down?
No, it says click and enter a value from the list of items.
Oh, wait, you have to... That's stupid. On mine, it's a drop down,
Oh.
and I just choose from the drop down.
All
Like,
right.
did you see it?
This is the night of dud demos.
No kidding. You see how my absent thing disappeared there right quick? I made a whole thing of like drop downs.
Oh.
Well, while you're failing over there, I'm back to some modicum of success here. Let me see.
Okay. We'll come back to you.
We've got. So I installed the actual version of the script that I wrote over break, and so we're now in a place where I just ran through and I said, yeah, go ahead and automatically create folders, right? So I wanted to go ahead and do that for me, and you'll see it created like 2 subfolders in the same folder that I'm in. So if I'm sitting in a folder called Lady Geeks Demos, and then it made 2 subfolders, one for the assignment question. So I'm going to ask a question of kids, which assignment is this? And then within that, it made a folder for each assignment that was part of my form. Right, so you'll see in my form I had assignment 1, 2, and 3. It made a folder for each assignment, right? Assignment 1, 2, and 3. And then in the user folders, it did not yet make any, and that's because I didn't have any users in my spreadsheet. But I've got a sheet called user folders where I'm going to, let's say, put my class roster. Right, so I'm going to go back and find my class roster real quick, and I've got that sitting in G class folders right now. So let me just grab a bunch of those usernames and and let's say I'm going to call the folders for each kid. I'm going to call this a zoology class. Period 1. All right, cool.
Stop texting me, Katie.
I'm not.
You're making me vibrate here.
I love concatenate. What was it? How do you say that word?
Concatenate.
Concatenate. That's one of my favorite formulas that I learned first.
It's a good one. So
it makes me happy.
So the script had automatically made me a user folder sheet, and so now if I go back into step 2 and I refresh it, like you can run these steps multiple times, but step 2 is what generates the folders. So if I hit refresh and then I go into Drive and look at my user folders, I should see a bunch of magic. Let's see. Woo! Look at that.
Do you believe in magic?
That's cool.
Anyways, it's making all of them for me, and then
I didn't sing Magic Stick.
I got the magic in me.
I'm just not there.
So hopefully this is going to work. Okay, you see how it dumped all the folder keys over here?
Yeah, so this is something that the script created, and they're automatically already shared between you and the student only.
That's right.
Okay.
And they're linked to the form. So now when my kids go out to use this form and it collects their username, so like I'll go log in as another kid real quick. So this is a little bit of magic here. I've got to email this kid the link to the form. So boom, please submit. And is this the actual form? Make sure I have the right link. Okay, so imagine where they submit their assignments. And I might have this form link would probably be on my class website, right? It would be like the thing they always use to submit homework. And so I'll jump in an incognito window here real quick. And I should probably share that screen. Sorry, it gets a little futzy.
So Katie's texting me, and she goes, he said incognito window. Incognito window. Is it titillating? I know what you do with your incognito window.
Hey now.
What happens on incognito window stays on incognito window.
Poor Andrew.
Katie taught me about incognito.
It serves many purposes, doesn't it? All right, so let's say I'm this kid, and I just finished doing whatever I do in my incognito window, and now I'm going to do my English paper while thinking about what I was just doing. And all right, assignment 1. So imagine this kid just did a bunch of work, and URL to that document, and then they go to the form for their class website where they're supposed to submit their work, right? And it says, your username will be recorded when you submit this form. How handy. Resource you're submitting. I paste it in, and then I say, that's assignment 1, and I click submit. Now, if everything's working properly, oh crap, I'm screwing up again. I forgot to run step 3. I'll do that again. All right. I didn't quite complete the setup. I'll do it again. All right, there we go. Cool. So one thing I didn't do is you'll notice, like, the kid never shared the work with the teacher, right? So
I hate that.
totally annoying, right?
Yes.
This thing will actually detect that it's not shared properly, and it will spit back an email automatically to the kid. So this is one of the things that a lot of the beta testers really liked.
Does it say something like, you dumbass, enter it properly?
I should make it customizable for those of us who still believe in corporal punishment.
Wait, that's my name. You can't use that name.
No, that is Katie's nickname. Katie's nickname is dumbass.
Oh, I thought it was corporal. Never mind.
Corporal punishment. I have a lot of nicknames.
On the Goth channel, it's corporal punishment. All right.
With a K.
There you go. But what's cool about this email that they get is it says, step 1, please use this link to add admin to your document. When you click that link, it's actually the sharing link, and it takes them right into the window where it says, boom, share.
Oh,
right?
That's awesome.
Nice.
And then, of course, they have to go back and do step 2, which is resubmit the assignment. But what it does is it pre-populates the form. So this is one of those really awesome use cases of form pre-population. I don't know if you guys have ever played with that, but in the Google Forms editor, you can actually get a pre-populated form link. And so this dumps the URL to their assignment back in the form automatically. And if this form had a bunch of other questions in it, it would also fill in their responses again. So it like fills it in for them. They just click submit. And now let me jump back to my other screen share. Futsy. Here we go. What you'll see is, third time's a charm. This kid has submitted an assignment. It gives me, the teacher, a link to the resource directly from the spreadsheet. And it gives me a little status message saying, successfully added to folders. And you'll see, in this case, it added it both to the assignment 1 folder and to the Alvin Jackson Zoology period 1 folder. So if I go into Drive and I look at Alan Jackson's folder, we'll see. There's assignment 1 sitting in his folder. And likewise,
Isn't Alan Jackson like a country singer or something?
I don't know. I'm not good at that. but you'll see it's also in the assignment 1 folder, right? Like, so one of the big workflow issues with teachers in Drive, I find, is that they're usually jumping from kid to kid, and that's a really inefficient way to grade.
Right.
Right. You want all the efficiency of being able to work through a batch of papers. Like, there's a reason people do that. But at the same time, you want each kid to have a personalized view on their assignments, and you want to be able to look at a whole kid at a glance very easily. So this is giving you the best of both, right? It's
I like that. I mean, I like that you have everything going into their folder, so it's almost like their e-portfolio, and you also have everything going into a folder with all the assignment in it, so you can just flick on through. I mean, for people who want to try out an LMS that does that as well, we talked about Canvas last week, and with Canvas they have this very cool feature called Speed Grader. Same idea, and obviously you have to get into Canvas. I'm using the free account right now, but with that one you can go from kid to kid through the same assignment pretty much at ease as well. But I mean, for those who don't want to buy into an entire LMS, this is a great way to just automate it. This is actually a little better. Like I said, I like the idea that it goes into the portfolio as well as that assignment folder at the same time.
And keep in mind, I would say this is like one of probably 50 different ways you could set this tool up, right? Like, this is just a single use case that's being played out, but it's flexible enough to be able to do like most things where you want to collect things from, let's say, your staff members in a school or district level collaboration, because it's just a Google form. Like, you flex your Google form, you make it the way you want, and then you have a couple questions in there that correspond to folders in Drive. You could do resume submissions this way, right? You could say, this is how our district does its HR process. You must put your resume in Drive and then share it with us this way.
That's so cool. There's so many possibilities. Andrew, I think that with all the scripts that you have to offer, I feel like you could be on our show like 8 different times and we still can't
way more than that. Yeah.
I mean, I still want to know more about all of them.
I think Andrew needs his own show. I think he needs a G-script chat show.
You really should have your own show.
Yeah, I need producers. I have far more patience for writing scripts than I have for running a show.
I wish I could follow you around all day.
No, I mean, actually, what I've found is that it turns out to be a beautiful collaboration where I do what I love to do, and there's other people that love to communicate and explain things to the world, and I can almost sit back and let other people do a lot of the evangelizing and sharing, which is pretty fun. Like, I love the making. I don't necessarily love I don't mind communicating. I don't think I'm a bad communicator, but I kind of get off on the fact that other people now have a way to be useful and explain things. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, I get off on things like that.
You really have to be careful with what you say on this show.
Around us, yeah. That is the quintessential
angst, angry woman, all of the above.
But she doesn't say she's crazy, mind you.
Right. But, bitch is crazy.
Oh, so it's 10:10.
Right. I just really wanted to just give a quick shout out to my podcast. I'm only going to talk about it for 1 second, but it's the Cultcast. I wanted to mention it last week, but it's episode 87, so it's like 2 weeks old. What I love about this episode is, gosh, I should have given a shout out to the guy on there, but a man comes on from iFixit. He talks about how Apple, the whole idea of cell phones and how they are meant to no longer work after a certain amount of time, which makes you want to buy more. But the problem is that we buy all these cell phones and it's really precious metals, and people are like paying with their lives to get these metals, and It was a really cool episode. If you are interested in cell phones and their impact on the environment, I mean, unfortunately, even though Apple says that they are super interested in the environment, they might just not be. And he has great statistics. I mean, I've never been so interested in a show, and I mean, it's not really for Apple fangirls or Apple fanboys because he really does bash Apple pretty well on there, but I think it's pretty well warranted. So that was Cult of Mac, or the Cult Cast by Cult of Mac. It's a podcast, and it's episode 87.
We also need to mention a big reminder. Can you do that one?
Oh, yeah. A big reminder, PBS and EdReach are collecting education wins by going to whatisyoureduwin.com. Anyone can submit an EduWin to help us shape the conversation of education into a positive one. If you see an innovation, a story, a moment happen, be a citizen reporter and tell the world. Submit an EduWin hashtag at whatisyoureduwin.com and let's change the story of education. You can do it with a hashtag too, can't you? On Twitter? I think you can.
What?
The EduWin with a hashtag on Twitter?
Yeah, I think so.
It's how it started off, I think.
Yeah.
But yes, it's EduWin.
And I also, Dan asked me to also mention that on Panel Picker for South by Southwest, they're submitting a panel. You have to vote on this, and we'll put the link up on the show notes. But Dan Rezac, Leah Clapman, and Jeff Dunn from edudemic.com, and Leah Clapman's from PBS. They're going to be hopefully hosting a panel. So if you go on and vote for them, should be pretty awesome. We've gotten to know Dan a little bit through EdReach, and he has really been one of our biggest cheerleaders, and we've really enjoyed getting to know him the bit that we have. And I promised him my dog wouldn't bark, so I'm kind of like, please don't bark.
And the next upcoming event is going to be Google Summit. Looks like the three of us will be there, so cool. Party in the Lady Geeks room Friday night.
Yeah, we don't even know where we're staying.
Well, no, I was tweeting Chris today. I requested a jacuzzi room.
Where? In his house?
I don't know. Well, I'm hoping for a hotel with a jacuzzi. That's what I want.
So we're staying in a hotel. I thought, okay.
Are we staying on someone's couch?
We'll talk.
You can host the Lady Geeks. We're poor teachers. We'll stay on your couch, but we will have fun. Let us know.
Yeah. We're farming ourselves out. Andrew's our pimp. So Andrew, if you know anybody that would like to host us in your area, let us know. You know.
I can make it really happen very efficiently if you want.
Can we fill out a Google form? Can we get if people to submit applications to host us?
That would be funny. All right.
Okay.
I think we're out. So, ladygeeks.org. Check us out. Go there for show notes.
And edreach.us/ladygeeks, right?
Lady Geeks.
There it is.
edreach.us.
Oh, man, I'm so tired.
Will you play the damn music?
I'm trying. You shut your mouth.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Bye, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for taking your time out for us.
Cheers.